He's saying he's recording it now. It's my show, tu show. Sato, cheto. Mira, wala. You see, Apple, the fun. This is the podcast, man. These people are very nice, very beautiful people. They talk beautifully, very smooth, strategically, que pale, temo pa ne el teléfono corto. Here in Australia, technology is not very fast. They're complaining that 4G is corrupting us. They know us on Bluetooth. They know us technology. They're hacking us all the time. They're hacking. They're doing beautiful, crazy fanatics. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. 5 to the 50 to the spiritual. Wayata, waja, poo, kikatua. Chi. You know, not getting knocked out now. So Apple phone, Apple technology, people technology, or other companies me not understand taxes. Why, if they sell to Australia, tax here, put in the warehouse, tax there, to the shop that it was gonna be sold, tax a bit, hipster taxes, I don't know, cost too much. I do understand. It's a question. When do the electric equipment or the $2,000 mobile phone go down the price? Why don't you tell me, please? I'm Hector, intermix from YouTube. Want to know when do the prices go down in Australia so I can go buy Apple phone or Google phone or Chinese phone? Why not? Help me, please. I'm crazy, and you know what? Let's have fun, man.
Dog now, and I guess you could do whatever you wanted with that, but I could see it being super buggy.
I mean, that's going to turn into instant iMessage stickers for everything. Like, you're going to be able to take a picture of yourself and turn yourself instantly into an iMessage sticker, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, but also just is going to be super duper duper annoying.
I just want to clarify the workflow here.
Okay.
So you have a photo, you have a subject, and then there's a background behind it. So Apple has always been pretty good about creating portrait photos using pretty decent edge detection, right? It started with the iPhone 7 Pro. Wasn't great. It was in beta for a long time. It's since improved dramatically. If you use portrait mode on an iPhone, it's pretty much as good as it is in the industry. Like Samsung does it fairly well. Google, I don't think does it particularly well because there's such a stark contrast between the foreground and the background subject still. Apple tries to create sort of a parallax effect, which is, or not parallax.
I just like to say, amigo, you in the future, man. You in somewhere you do, you're mad, you do crazy, man. You Americans are in the future, right? You're faster. Colonizing other planets, spaceships, extraterrestrials, Black Lives Matters, Aborigines. Wow.
It tries to create sort of this gradual background smoothing so that it doesn't seem like the subject is so dominant in the picture. Anyway, if you find a picture with a clear subject, you hold your finger down on it, and the machine learning engine will basically detect the edges of that subject and copy it. and you can then paste it wherever you want. You can paste it into Instagram, to iMessage, into WhatsApp as a sticker.
I'm taking the headphones out. I am crazy, 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 crazy. How you put it on like this? Is it? Voila!
You can drag it into a lock screen and just create your own weird lock screens. But what it looks like, and I've seen this in demos, not from Apple themselves, but from people using the developer preview, the edge detection is remarkable. It's really, really good. And I think Google should just steal this feature wholesale. Ridiculously fun. It's going to make memeing really, really good. And like, it goes to that idea that Apple is the fun company now, that it's trying to find a little bit of whimsy in its phones that it just didn't allow for in previous versions. And Google is moving, like Material You is obviously based on personalization, but it's, I think Android, it's...
How can a robotic, it walks, talks, religion, they know everything, right? To do a backflip, it was a robot. A robot did that because robots say Singapore, Filipino, Americano, Mexican, Chilean, Australian, the whole world, man. Robotic. The man with the spacesuit, right? What was his name? The astronaut. El loco, man. You're funny, man. You're funny. You're funny, man. You're funny. I love you, man.
Self is like a little bit less playful than it used to be. Yeah. And like, we're losing a lot of that in the marketing too, right? We're at Android 13, we're not at Android tiramisu or whatever. And I do think Apple is now like leaning into that whimsy a little bit more. And this is just one of those features that's going to make all the Gen Z memers go crazy. And I think it'll be a really big hit.
I mean, it's obvious from the way they present it too, because it's like, I mean, this is Mac, this isn't iOS, but Apple's making weed jokes about like how they picked the code name for the new version of Mac OS, and then Google's like, it's Android 13, and like maybe we'll...
Quiet, man. That's ridiculous. I'm listening on the headphones, right? Okay, I'm not putting down nobody to party. I think the Germans, the Indians, China can make a mobile phone, couldn't they? One better than yours anyway. Don't fucking... party, party, party.
Whisper to you what the code name is, but like we don't...
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
if you ask nicely.
If you ask really nicely, but like don't... You know, it's Android 13, guys. Like we're professionals here.
All right, get off it, you smart asses. You're a beautiful people, man.
And it's weird that like they're doing these, you know, there was that like slow-mo shot of oh my god, I can't remember his name, but Craig
Federighi?
Thank you. Yeah, there was like that.
He's a meme in of itself. Like
it's so weird to like watch, and like it wasn't winning me over, and then at the end of it I was like, all right, I guess that was like, at least they're having fun with
You too. I love you too, because you said you're having fun, man.
it if they're gonna, you know, have to do these like pre-recorded segments or whatever. And that's obviously just the event, but it really carries over into the operating system too, where it's like a lot of the features they talked about, we're gonna make it easy for you to have fun on your smartphone, which is like not really, you know, Google's big thing. And we can talk about Android 13 in a minute, but Google's big thing this year is like, we've ironed out the bugs of Material You. Now it's, you know, a little bit deeper and a little bit less buggy. Mm-hmm. And also we focused on privacy and security, which is important, but it's not fun. There's no drag and drop the dog in Android 13.
Not really. I mean,
Estados Unidos, fuerte con tecnología. Tan, taran, tan, tan, pan, ya, Alemania.
There are, like, I think they're leaning into some of that fun in the marketing around like Magic Eraser, right?
Yeah. Which this translates super well. Like, that's the next version of Magic Eraser, is just copying drag and drop the
Sure,
dog.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
Well, and more importantly, Google doesn't necessarily need to copy drag and drop the dog. They need to copy that edge detection for Magic Eraser, because that's what I need.
It's
when I'm
pretty
deleting
good, though.
The dog's ass, homeboy. Chakaba, yeah, love you too.
1,000 different tourists out of my photos.
Yeah, it is very like it is very good at the moment. It's just not. It's
Wait,
not
do you want
perfect.
Disney World to look empty?
No, I want Disney World to be empty so the lines are empty and I can get on the rides I want like 10 times.
Love you, oh, love you, oh, aya, wa, mama, oh, I'm sexy and you know it.
Times in a
Fair
row.
enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so I want to dedicate like a minute to talk about CarPlay. You wrote something
Sure.
about this next gen CarPlay preview. Walk us through what it is, Will, and like how Apple is sort of presenting next gen CarPlay as a bit of a coup against
Yeah.
Android Automotive.
Yeah, I think this really confused people because I think
Love you, man. Colonize other planets. Do us cultivating. Have a garden with vegetables. Maybe grow some tomatoes. Do something so the cultivating, the thing that makes things fantastic. It will go wild, you know. If you like it, tell me the shit. Good, very good, man. So cultivating, putting ideas and protesting maybe. Protesting? Yeah, protesting look good for the news, eh? Crackers, malakas. Australia, yeah, Australia. Socceroos, man.
I think this is so far off that Apple is not being totally upfront about what this is, because I was comparing it directly in my piece to Android Automotive, which is not Android Auto. Android Automotive is a dedicated operating system that powers a handful of cars in the market. It's finally actually like coming to vehicles people buy like in mass. Like, not a lot of people buy.
Have to have alien technology, other technology, fanatic technology, planets like the moon or whatever they created. Aliens live there. They leave aliens in the moon and they controversial fucking lie to us. Who's living where? Who are where? A technology future. My God, settle down. No punch-ups, please. Relax, mate. I love you.
Polestar vehicles, but now if you go buy like a Chevy Silverado, it's powered by Android Automotive. God, terrible branding. This kind of splits the difference, so it's still using your phone, but it's going to talk to your car to display like all of the instrument panels, so the speedometer and the odometer and your gas tank, I think your tire pressure, but certainly like your gas range, and it's also going to like link up with your personal account, so it'll show your calendar for the day, it'll show like weather, it'll have all of your Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you're using on your iPhone, it'll control the climate in your car, it'll do everything in one interface that is designed for you, it's personalized for you. And this is like the exact opposite of what automotive does, where Google goes to car manufacturers and says, hey, do whatever you want with it. Like, skin it as much as you want. To the point where it's like, GMC and Chevy are both GM companies, and their use of Android Automotive looks fairly similar, but still has different icons, like slightly different icons for no reason.
Okay, I like to say, excuse me, and very, very good night, because I don't like your idea. The idea was to drive, right? I want to hold the steering wheels, right? I feel safer, more macho with a mask in my face anyway. I don't think so. Maybe you're fucking not holding the steering wheel, What are you on about? If you lose the steering wheel, you might crash. Anyway, I don't know what you're on about. Anyway, it's fucked. It's gonna crash, and if it's driving by itself, is it? Oh my God! Where are we? What's this? Oh, electric car that runs by itself. Okay. It's gotta be trusted. Gotta know that fucking, it's military fucking shit, military fucking bombs. If Russia bombs La bomba, right? No more disco. No can pan disco, pumpkin disco, finchichisko, Android police, Android police, my ass, fuck. Fuck him up, bite, fuck him, shut up, dickhead. All right, amigo, it's naughty, man, naughty. Dirty hector. Apple, I love Apple.
And Chevy are both GM companies, and their use of Android Automotive looks fairly similar, but still has different icons, like slightly different icons for no reason other than, oh, we skinned it a little different so that, you can tell if you're in a GMC or a Chevrolet. This is like Apple being like, no. The driver is the person who matters here. We don't care about the car company. All we need to do is get their permission to let the phone talk to the car. And otherwise, like, the driver gets to pick what their experience looks like. And that's what I would have expected from Google, to be honest. Like, it's weird that this is the way this is going, but it's like,
though? I feel like that's not the trend that Google has tended to go in over the last...
I don't know how I feel about this. Especially if it was going to be an Android version of it, because Android Auto has had bugs from the past. Android Automotive, I'm gathering, will have bugs at some points. In any time that you're dealing with a phone connected to a car, something's gonna go wrong.
True.
And I just Android Auto and everything was the app interface. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Especially if it was going to be an Android version of it, because Android Auto has had bugs from the past. Android Automotive, I'm gathering, will have bugs. I don't know that they take a really heavy hand in forcing anything like this. Either the OEMs just aren't going to go for it at all, or Google's going to get sued for it. Like, they couldn't go this heavy for Android Automotive, even if they wanted to. But more importantly, whenever I saw that it, like, took over the instrument clusters and everything was the app interface, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Especially if it was going to be an Android version of it, because Android Auto has had bugs from the past. Android Automotive, I'm gathering, will have bugs at some points. In any time that you're dealing with a phone connected to a car, something's gonna go wrong.
True.
And I just looked at that instrument panel and I went, I do not like that. That makes me antsy about, trusting the instrument panels on my car, and that's not good.
So there are several arguments here. One is that analog and like basic digital panel or UIs fail.
I mean, I'm not against digital UIs for these things. I'm against having that be, oh, it's your car, but your phone is going to take over and show these instead.
Right, but the reason they are taking so long for this integration is the same reason companies like Ford and GM are being very cautious about integrating Android Automotive into their lineup. I mean, take Ford, for example, right? Like, they're debuting a brand new version of Sync alongside Android Automotive. Only one or two of their cars released in 2022, 2023 are going to be powered by Android Automotive. The rest are going to have this new version of Sync. Companies are being extremely cautious about this. They all support CarPlay and Android Auto, right? Everything supports that.
Yeah.
That is table stakes. But giving over control to an OEM is, I think, a big deal on both sides, right? Google is giving the code over and like, I don't know how closely they're working with these car manufacturers on integration, but like, they have to be solid. They have to be reliable every single time. I'm driving a 2018 MDX right now where all of the climate control, like the AC, for instance, I cannot activate the AC manually on the dash. I have to press a button on the touchscreen. There have been times where that touchscreen does not work. I turn off the car, I turn it back on. I had to go to a dealer once to get the whole system reset in the middle of summer, and I did not have AC until I did that. So it's not just Google and Apple that are having problems. Integration is difficult, and especially when cars are becoming more like computers every day, that's going to continue to be a concern. I think what Apple's doing here is they are doing exactly what they did to the US carriers 10 years ago. They're saying, we are dictating terms here, and you're going to like it or not. We're giving customers control over personalization because they're going to want to customize the way it looks. But ultimately, if you choose to allow this service into your car, you're not going to have any way of controlling it because it's the customer's iPhone that powers it, not the car's computer itself.
There's a reason that's why they announced it now, because they're saying they're going to announce vehicles. So they detailed some partners. Ford is probably the most prominent of them, but they're like vehicle announcements coming fall 2023. So we're a year and 5 months from that.
Oh no, we're 2 years from these vehicles, because if they're announced,
no, I know we're 2 years
fall.
from the vehicles. I'm saying that we're a year and 5 months away from finding out what cars will support this. Like, we're 2 years from cars hitting the road with this, I suppose. Although, like, that's around when 2024 models will launch, so it's possible. But what they're doing is showing customers, like, look at this cool interface that you get to pick that is going to be in your next car. Don't you want this? And every iPhone owner is going to be like, I do kind of want that. And then, like, car companies are going to feel the pressure to support this.
Yeah. Okay, a couple other things before we move on. Dark Sky, the super popular cross-platform app that Apple bought and then killed on Android, is now
Rest in peace.
getting an API through WeatherKit. So companies or app developers will be able to integrate Dark Sky powered weather information into their own apps, which super jealous of. I loved Dark Sky. The iPad is finally getting its own dedicated weather app after 12 years, which is bananas. Safari is adding collaborative tab sharing, which sounds boring, but as Ryan writes in his piece, it's not boring. It's a really good idea that Chrome should totally steal. It basically allows people to group together tabs, add tabs to a live.
Okay, here you get more storage, more internet, more places, more things. I might be beautiful. 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 Record. 2 free. G.
Shared list and then collaborate that way. Apple also announced something called, what was it? It's a collaboration tool. Jotter? No. I forget what it's called, but they're basically trying to like steal Notion from under them. They're trying to Sherlock all of these other tools. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't think we're going to be able to get to. Apple Pay Later is really interesting. You'll be able to use Apple Pay to make 4 equal installments on basically anything that supports Apple Pay. Apple itself is becoming a financial services company because it's fronting a lot of this, which is fascinating. So yeah, there's a lot more.
Express. Yata, paparata, technology, extraterrestre, otro manesto, que te paresto, uno malesto, estoy colando, para pandando, here we go, boom, yo, you are the future, create the future, poop the future, get the future, africano, es mi hermano, la vida, unido, jamás será vencido, po. Don't forget to watch the football, Socceroos versus Peru. Watch the football, Socceroos versus Peru. Come have some marshmallows with some sponge cake. Me, I love you. You want to punch me and kill me. You say you want to, but I want to,
thing that supports Apple Pay. Apple itself is becoming a financial services company because it's fronting a lot of this, which is fascinating. So yeah, there's a lot more that we've written about on the site. We're not going to be able to cover today. What they didn't announce, not surprisingly, support for RCS. That is not happening on the iPhone anytime soon. They did announce a bunch of Apple Message stuff, a bunch of iMessage improvements, but not RCS support.
Didn't even hint at it.
No.
Google has, I think at this point,
3G infrastructure, I would not be surprised. But view mode that relies on a pogo pin hidden somewhere under the USB. I don't know. Whatever. There's no USB.
There is no USB.
I don't know.
You'd have to pop off that unibody back in order to troubleshoot anything on it.
But if you're taking it to the Apple Store anyway, like they're already going to do that probably. So
Apple's selling you $70,000 iPhone repair kits these days anyway, so you can do it yourself.
Arrives in a suitcase.
A really heavy Pelican case. iFixit has a really interesting video where they tear down the iPhone repair tools that Apple created.
That's cool.
And some of it is just remarkable in how over-engineered it is. But it's Apple, right? So it's not surprising. Anyway, I think it'll be interesting if Apple does switch to USB-C. I don't love USB-C, I'll be honest. I think the fact that it is slightly bigger than Lightning has always bothered me. It's an external plug, right? Like the pins.
Welcome to the Tech Meme Ride Home for Thursday, February 18th, 2021. I'm Brian McCullough. Today, I'll do my best to explain this whole Australia situation vis-a-vis Facebook and Google. SpaceX is our interesting raise today. NVIDIA unveils a line of chips just for crypto. Does Apple want to set the standards for 6G? And if remote work is the future, why is big tech still building so much office space? Here's what you missed today in the world of tech. I don't know if you remember that story about that Australian law where they were going to make tech platforms pay money to publishers if they even linked to content from an Australian publisher. You might recall that Google said that it would consider completely going dark in Australia if the law came into force. You might recall that I didn't really have an opinion on that, but I kind of wanted both sides to call each other's bluff just to see what would happen if Google went dark in a whole country. Meanwhile, Facebook was making similar noises about blocking news items in the news feed. It's been one of those rolling stories where every day there was seemingly another new wrinkle to it and a new headline. So I have been skipping talking about it because it was always just so incremental. Until now, that is. Ahead of this proposed law, which, again, has not been passed yet, Facebook has preemptively banned Australians from sharing or viewing news and
all right. Monkey see, monkey do. What you going to do? Pa 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 do. Cha waka 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 yaga yaga. You cannot ban anyone. We are freedom of speech. We are justice. We're going to protest. We're going to debate. We're going to make things that people talk about, remembering their history, our history. We're going to love you too, okay? No getting you knickers on a knot, punch-ups, revolution, planet Earth, fucking bombastic. You fucked, man. Stop that, okay? Australia got banned. Right, figure it out. Fixed now. Get fucked. Anyway, I'm gonna try something new now, motherfucker. A la vista.
Estás con SBS Spanish.
Welcome everybody to the Tech Meme. Just outside of Berkeley.
And mainstreaming of NFTs for normies and folks like that.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about where we are right now is that you can onboard a whole lot of people, but
Sucking dick now, we fishman, cockatoo too. Take a drink for this, fucking doo-doo, fucking boo-boo.
before you have to start thinking about, people's mothers and grandmothers. Like, we're so inaccessible today. And I actually think, personally, more about crossing, the representation boundaries and the wealth
Family cook the food, extraterrestrial.
boundaries than I think about crossing, the age and kind of tech savviness boundaries to some level. But I think what Coinbase did is Coinbase realized product market fit for crypto, which was the custodian stored buying of crypto assets for pure speculation. And I think when you have product market fit, you can create terminology and you can create user experiences and paradigms that make sense to that set of users to onboard them to that pretty simple concept. Coinbase is a marvel of user experience, but it's actually quite a simple thing. There's a list of coins, and you can buy them and you can sell them. I think the challenge that NFTs have today is NFTs have product market fit for nothing except pretty rich people like buying expensive things and like signaling their wealth, or in the better cases, signaling their associations and their interest and their identity to the rest of the internet. And there are lots of things that are emerging and show promise, but NFTs have no product market fit. And really because NFT is a technology, it's not a product. And I think we'll see lots and lots and lots of products emerge on top of it. And I think the first one that I've really seen, or certainly the most recent one, that I think has a compelling argument for, okay, this is a use case that people can understand, and therefore they might want it, and therefore you can onboard them to it, is Steppen. I think Steppen had an explosion of onboarding because people understood what you were asking them to do and why they might want to do it. And so I'm actually...
Brian, are you familiar with Steppen?
Yeah, I am actually. Yes.
Okay. You might want to just provide a little context for that. Go ahead, Chris.
So Steppen was, they coined themselves as kind of move to earn. So the idea was you bought an NFT, and then very much like any other kind of step tracker, as you moved within some rules of the game, you'd earn tokens as you walked in the real world. And essentially,
we did a whole segment on it on the show. I think it was last week, both Chris's, but keep going. Yeah.
Nice. I love Steppen, and I don't know if Steppen wins or succeeds, but I do know that concept was simple enough, understandable enough, offered enough consumer benefit, and slotted into people's lives in a way that they were like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. And essentially it was creating an NFT as kind of a yield instrument, but then creating some rules and like some real world telemetry that turned that into a game that people actually wanted to play. And so as we think about making NFTs mainstream, there's a bunch of systematic problems that I think we can be part of solving, like trust and safety, discovery, onboarding, how does one self-custody, does one self-custody, all of those things. But then I think we're also just looking for and waiting for and going to lean heavily into people making compelling use cases that actually matter to people. And as of right now, it's not our goal to go build those. We believe and trust that those things are happening, and I can think of a half dozen that I think show potential.
Guess what? It's gone too long now, brother. Time to end it. The end of the speed. Chiamo la mia. Oh, ya, yo comprendo, sí. Oh, puta la wea. Oh, chalito. Dice que es Aboriginal spirit, is it? Wisdom of the master. It's quickly on the things. Oh, this one says the ancients. What's that mean? Something.
Now it's even easier to earn 10 cents on your eligible drink containers.
Of course, are the fourth state of matter. You have solids, liquids, and gases. When I was in high school and college, that's all there was. And I don't recall them, even in physics,
No, when you're in Australia, some of the ground, the dirt is red, or some of the weather goes funny, there's floods and all different states. People are not the best. We're not trained for all this. We're never we combine to be safe or something, but we can't always do. With the weather or something happens to us, yes, earthquakes or other mysteries that we don't understand. You understand? Okay, don't you put it on me. All right, we're gonna listen to you for a little bit, and then we're gonna cut out. Okay? The finish, the francés finish. Dance, fresh meat. We do what we can do.
They were literally physically grounding themselves in deep earth, which is how you get access to like the Schumann resonance and the basic earth energies that are involved in these experiences. And it was a place where shaman went. But it's a mindset that very few people today can possibly conceive of. We look at animals as, they looked at animals as something that could teach us great lessons. They looked at animals as co-creators in the universe, that they were spiritual creatures. They had to be revered. We look at resources in the earth as something to be exploited and used. They didn't see it that way. They looked at resources as something that, yes, you could use, but you had to rever them and you had to honor them. The same with animals. They didn't kill animals just for the heck of killing animals.
Right.
And when they actually did kill an animal, they prayed to it and they thanked it for giving them food and sustenance before they would actually consume it. Same thing with land. Native Americans didn't think you could own land. You could inhabit land, you can utilize land, but you don't own it. Of course, when the Europeans came, they taught them differently. We had a totally different mindset. They didn't believe that you should just destroy forests, although Native Americans were very, very good at agriculture. They learned how to do burn-offs. People go to mound sites today and they think those mound sites with trees everywhere, that they had so many trees. They didn't. Around these huge mound structures and mound complexes with 20, 30, 40, or even 100 mounds, there was massive distances where it was totally flat, not a single tree growing. They wanted to be able to see the horizon from the top of these mounds, and trees get in the way. So they also would get rid of all the trees in line of sight at these places. So we just can't understand that mindset. I don't think we ever can.
We can't understand it, but what you say is very, very important in the natives that are left to us who are willing to speak about their sacred science and religion. They were intricately connected to the earth. And it seems to me that what you're saying is that they were also getting information by living with Gaia in the form of downloads on creating structures that were in alignments so that you could see the heavens, the importance of looking at neighboring star systems. And we see this with the Maya, as above, so below. Many of their cities, at least in the Maya, and I think in also some places in Southwest United States, these cities were aligned with cosmologies.
Yeah.
So the energy was important.
Yes, absolutely, as was their connection to the star world. They knew that we were connected to it. It's all this. It's the upper power. The stars are the upper power. We haven't discussed the three worlds that they had: the upper world, the lower world, the middle world, which is us. The upper world is the world of creation, and it is the world of order, O-R-D-E-R, order. Everything is orderly in the upper world. The movements of the stars is orderly. The movements of the sun is orderly. The movements of the moon are orderly. That is order. And then there are the birds. The birds were representatives of this upper world. Then you have the lower world, which is chaos. It is disorder. I call it the order of entropy. And everything is a connection between entropy, which is the...
I gotta go now, man. Different God, different fuck you. Different God love you. Sport love you. Hector man, Hector extraterrestrial, everything parking. God be, I can hear the train going by. How Jamaica, Sweden, Jamaica, Sweden, Spanish, Chile, Australia, Panterero. Okay? Fuck that up. Okay, God, on the name of God. Medieval, fantastic, barbonic, and terroristic, extraterrestrial, UFO, other planet, blow your mind, kill the alcohol, kill the everything, kill you by everything, pin. You're sexy, and you know what? I love you. Hug. Love you. My show, God, sending God, extraterrestrial, boom, bah. What's going on? Excuse me, please. My man. Oh, you're doing adios. Ciao. Behave. I love you. Turn it off, please. Punch you in the head. He's saying he's recording it now.